Is being gay natural? This is a topic that comes up often, especially in religious or political contexts. But we need to put aside our ideologies because this question goes way beyond humanities. This question is rooted in science. In my last video, I talked about empathy as a biological mechanism, which keeps groups cohesive so they can survive. Most people know the concept of survival of the fittest, how organisms best suited to their environment are more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass on advantageous traits. So, despite common misconception, survival of the fittest is not about being the strongest or the fastest. It's about being the best adapted to your environment, whether that be the ability to find food very well, or escape predators, or attract mates. These traits that lead to better reproductive success are going to become more prevalent over time because they're beneficial to the species. So if evolution favors reproduction, why is it that homosexuality shows up in so many species, and why does it persist? Because the truth is, humans are far from the only animal that exhibits same-sex behavior. This behavior is found in insects, reptiles, mammals, and birds, over 1,500 species. Mating costs a lot in terms of energy expenditure, time use, and the possibility of disease transmission and injuries. Usually, these costs are considered less important than the production of offspring. But because same-sex couples do not produce offspring, it has been considered a Darwinian paradox. The Darwinian paradox suggests that it is impossible to maintain genes that are costly to an animal's ability to reproduce. Biologist Josue M. Gomez said it perfectly when he said, "Since it does not contribute directly to reproduction, same-sex behavior is considered an evolutionary conundrum." Gomez and his colleagues researched over 250 species who exhibited same-sex behavior. And they found that homosexuality didn't just evolve once and get passed on. It evolved independently, again and again and again across the tree of life. And if evolution keeps on reinventing the same behavior, that means somehow it's important to our survival. The researchers found that homosexuality may play an adaptive role, helping maintain social relationships and reducing conflict within groups. So animals that live in groups, like primates, wolves, dolphins, social cohesion is vital for their survival. Scientists have found that same-sex behavior can help create, strengthen, or maintain relationships. And that is why same-sex behavior is more frequent in social species. Some species use same-sex mounting to establish hierarchies or resolve disputes without fighting. It's basically nature's version of saying, let's settle this without killing each other. Convergent evolution is the concept that completely unrelated species evolve the same niche or traits to address the same environmental pressures. So like how bats, birds, and butterflies all have wings. So if something evolves independently over many unrelated species, that means it is a reoccurring solution to a reoccurring problem. Now, let's zoom into some specific examples. My first example is the Laysan albatross, which is a species that mates for life. There's a relatively new colony of these albatross at Kaena Point on Oahu. For conservation purposes, this area became protected, and albatross from overcrowded areas nearby moved in. When zoologist Lindsay Young studied this colony, she found that approximately 1/3 of all of the couples of albatross were female-on-female pairs. Young female albatross are more likely to explore new territories, while males are more likely to stay where they were born. So Kaena Point, being a new colony, ended up with a shortage of males. Albatross chicks stay in the nest for about 6 months, so 2 parents are required. One parent regularly leaves the nest to travel vast distances to find food, while the other one protects the chick in the nest. So female albatross began forming long-term partnerships. They would briefly mate with male albatross to fertilize their eggs, and then return to their female mate to raise the chicks. Now, the reason this is so amazing is that 95% of albatross nests in this area are projected to disappear by 2050 because of rising sea levels. So these pioneering females, nesting in these new higher ground colonies like Hyena Point, aren't just adapting socially, they're helping preserve their species. These couples show just how flexible sex roles can be in nature and how animals can innovate to survive. Now, let's talk about bonobos, chimpanzees' less aggressive cousin. Bonobos are known for having a lot of same-sex mating, just as much as heterosexual mating, especially in females. Bonobo communities are unique in the sense that they have female-centered hierarchies. Female bonobos are known for forming strong coalitions to gain power, control males, and manage resources like high-value food, and maintain social harmony. One of the key behaviors behind these bonds is something scientists call GG rubbing, where females rub their genitals together during social interactions. So researchers collected urine samples from bonobos who participated in sexual behavior with both same-sex and opposite-sex partners. Scientists found that bonobos had a higher concentration of oxytocin in their urine after same-sex interaction. New research suggests the hypothesis that homosexuality was never independently evolved across multiple species. It was there to begin with. A research project from Yale, Berkeley, and some other institutions proposed that homosexual behavior didn't evolve from heterosexual behavior. These scientists suggest that early animals mated indiscriminately. Sexual signaling, the ability to differentiate females from males, evolved later, meaning early animals could not tell the difference between a male or a female. This suggests the idea that homosexuality is simply a dormant trait in all animals. So when we ask ourselves the question, is being gay natural? The answer isn't just yes. It's much deeper than that. Same-sex behavior is ancient and widespread and adaptive and cooperative. It helps species survive environmental disasters, maintain peace, and most importantly, ensure the survival of offspring. And remember, humans are definitely not the only species to exhibit homosexuality, but we are the only species to exhibit homophobia.